What's going on YouTube? James here. Welcome back to James Talks Movies, where today I am just going to be doing a quick little review of the movie The Smashing Machine, which is, of course, a movie coming from one of the directors of Uncut Gems, Benny Safdie, and is a movie chronicling the life of Mark Cole. Mark Cole was a MMA UFC fighter. I don't know if they're the same thing. I'm not really into wrestling. And it's chronicling he was one of the empires and creators of UFC fighting. And it's chronicling his relationship with his wife, played by Emily Blunt, and his struggles that he had internally during a moment in his life. And overall, I'm just gonna tell straight up what I think about this movie. I did not love it. Now look, just like everyone is saying, Dwayne Johnson in here is really, really good as Mark. Everyone is saying that, and I don't disagree on that front. I think Dwayne Johnson, going into his first dramatic role, does a really, really, really good job carrying a scene, especially definitely with Emily Blunt. You can see the chemistry, and obviously Emily Blunt can carry a scene or two because she's Emily Blunt, but also the surprise factor that Dwayne Johnson is good in here is not really high for me. Also, he always seemed to me like a very not just charismatic but very vulnerable guy, and he brings that to this movie. So I really always seen that vulnerability he can bring to roles. This is just one of the movies he's doing it the most. But enough about Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt, who we all know are great actors and of course are great in the movie. Why I didn't love this movie was the directing of Benny Safdie. Now look, half of his directing is really good in here. I feel like the documentary almost style of filmmaking where he was placing the camera to make everything feel lived in, and you're kind of with these characters along this journey, is a very creative way to film it and is very well done. What I didn't like about the directing and the style it kind of went for was the soundtrack in here is it's really upbeat and very kind of hyping you up and kind of really not poppy music, but really like 80s 90s aesthetic upbeat music, if that makes sense. And of course the dramatic avenues the film is taking doesn't really match the tone of the soundtrack in here. I feel like there are some bangers in the soundtrack, of course, but also when it's paired with like voiceovers here and there that they do with the movie, it makes the voiceovers a little quiet and really kind of harder to hear because of the overly loud upbeat music that's in the film that just kind of makes for an oddball tone that doesn't quite work for me. And also lots of the first act of this movie is just really lots of explaining of how the UFC works and just not a lot of substance. Like, it's really trying to explain to you how UFC works, and it's just not really needed, I feel like, and it just feels kind of contrived. You also have my main issue of the film is the scripting. as well. I feel like it also didn't really go into a lot about his life, like what drove him, Mark, to make the decisions that he did. What drove him with his relationship with his girlfriend, and stuff like that, to where since you don't get a really good idea of where Mark's coming from and kind of what drove him to make the decisions he did, it's kind of showing more of the bad side I felt of him and kind of makes Mark a unlikable guy, which with some of the dialogue that they have in the film, they allude to that he wasn't really. But I kind of got that impression with kind of the moments in his life that was being told, if that makes sense. And also, one last thing I didn't like about it was not to give anything away, of course, but like I was telling you before about that documentary almost style filmmaking where you're kind of with these characters living close to them, up close and personal. That illusion is broken at the end of the film, and that is kind of one of those kind of like the music, kind of an odd decision in here that kind of didn't fit with a lot of, I feel like, what they should have been going for. But yeah, other than that, I liked the performances, but not lots of the other performances were able to get their highlights other than Dwayne and Emily's, because not lots of characters got their moment to shine because of the weak script and not going into a lot of his life like they should have. And yeah, just this movie was not for me. I do think it's closely not getting a lot of money though at the box office. Whenever someone does try, like Dwayne, to try something new and is very passionate about it, going into a dramatic role, I feel like it's good to support that. So if you guys still have it playing near you, go do that. Yeah, you'll at least be impressed by his performance like I was. But anyways, guys, are you guys the opposite of me? Did you guys enjoy the Smashing Machine? Let me know that all in the comment section down below. Your dislikes, your likes, all of that, so we can have a nice discussion in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that button, the notification button after you subscribe, so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.